All right, guys. So here we go. You know, I'm recording this one just for the record. We might you know, we might find some really useful information later on to this. So again, as I was saying, if since we have the photographs that can guide us in terms of the setup, actually I'm going to use picture, right? So that actually I can import them in here. Right, so let's see, graphics, projects, force perspective, board, and Julio's photos right there. So let's see, between file 1 and file 2, what is the difference? Okay, so I'll use file 2. Like this. Is this the actual phone used for the Okay, it was another light source, right? So I'll use file 2. Okay, so I'll open that right here. Right. It would be nice. I mean, is that a pencil? Is that a pen? Okay, how big is a battery? AA battery. Huh? 1.5 inches, about 2 inches. I'm gonna scale this photograph. I wanna select that. I'm gonna say maybe from there to there, 2 inches. Alright. Let's see, distance. Let's see, how big should this Barbie car be, or whatever it is. Right? So about 8 inches. Yeah. So we'll start there. Okay. So I'll set up my layer. So again, that's photograph right there. That's the picture. So I'm actually gonna lock it, placing myself on a new layer. Okay. So that's locked right there. And again, being diagrammatic, I'm asking you guys to find some icons, right? Some representation. So it could be a circle. Maybe a circle, you know, represents this little vehicle right there. And again, I can unlock the photographs, select it. I go to the materials properties right here, the little paint tube, right? And reduce its transparency, right? So I actually see what's going on right there. And again, if you don't have the photograph, well, hopefully at least you have a hand drawing diagram, or, you know, just you have some distances and you can actually more or less put it together. Okay. Layers, lock this thing right here. You know, I can do a rectangle to represent maybe some of these other objects right here. So I'll do this right there, right? And you know, maybe some of these other ones right here, and we'll do that. Okay. This can already start matching your layers, your layers from your extrusions. Which do I have them right here? No, I don't. I have them right over here. P1 layers. All right, those can start matching. And these layers that we have, wait for it, right here. All right, layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Because they all correspond. And so again, as we're creating a little, diagram, again, is the purpose of this is to communicate graphically, right? So we are actually training the viewer, right? It's like, hey, now layer 1, which is a certain object, it's represented, right? 3D in the model this way, right? So, you know, I have object 1, maybe I can see this is object 2, so I'll change, or layer 2, I'll change that. You know, I'll change that to layer 3, right? Proximity wise, I guess this would be next, right? And, you know, I can have layer 5, which I'll change the color so that we can actually see it, and do that. I turn off the image and start getting that. All right. Yeah. All right. So far, so good. All right. Now here, this is actually important as well. It's really nice to be able to see this. This would be perhaps a new layer, and we call this light source. Okay. I'll add to light source maybe, you know, like an orangey kind of color right there, and you know, it can be this this rectangle, right? Maybe kind of like creating that. Again, I'll change its layer, right? Light source. I can rotate it a little bit. Actually, before I do that, let me draw a polygon, right, which actually is a three-sided polygon, right? So it's right here, selected. 3, it's already 3, but just in case yours is not, so I draw a little triangle, kind of like maybe that. Right, I'm gonna flip this like this. I'm gonna send it to the. Am I recording? Let me see if I'm recording. I am recording. Okay. I'm gonna send it to its layer, which is light source. And what is this triangle representing? The what? The light, right? The light, right? So it is a light source, right? So I can select them together, holding Shift, right? And I can now kind of send this out here, right? And maybe, you know, we start placing that right there, turn off, right? That right there, right? This could be even, right? Even bigger, right? So if I hold Shift, kind of do that, right? I can type explode, right? Explode that thing right there, delete that line right there, move, right, the cone from there to there, and I can actually see, right, even better how that line. Let me turn off the image right here, right, so you can actually see that right there. Right, so you start seeing the light source and how it actually acts on it, right? If that's not where it needs to be, I can even turn it a little bit, right? So let's say that I capture some of that objects right there. Okay, we need a new layer, right, which is very important for us, which is called camera. Wait, where? Right. Cam. Actually, I'll just put cam. Okay, give it again its own color. And so I'm glad that I get rid of that that triangle right there, because again, a light source being the light source, you know, it kind of like it projects. I'm not sure if this photograph right here has the camera, but more or less, you know, Julia, where was the camera? Or is it here on the photograph? Just right behind the light source. Let's say to the right or to the left? To the right, maybe somewhere over here. And so then again, this would be again the camera. And again, I can draw another polygon. I can do this right here. I'm holding Shift so that it's constrained. Right? And actually, I can do it maybe even this way right here. Right? So maybe I'll do something like that. Right? I move it. Right? And place this right here. And again, maybe I can do this even a little bit smaller there. Okay. All right. Turn off the original image. That's how things are looking, right, so far. Okay. So from there, right, let's say that I have those objects right there. I mean, I think we have another huge component right here, which I think it's bear, right? Oops. Bear is somewhere over here, and he's bigger, right? So, you know, I'll maybe represent him like that. Right, create a new layer. Be layer that right there. Give it its own color, and this guy would be that right there. Now, if we look at the photographs, we'll see the distance right there. So all of these components, they're super close together, right? I mean, that's the how do we call it, carnival scene, or, you know, I guess right? We have the bear right there, which are close to it, and now the subjects themselves, right? They're a little bit further back. So Julia, you know, just real quick, more or less, would you remember what was this distance? Let's say 13 feet for the little girl. Okay. And actually, guys, the beauty of this, we can actually, what if we do this? We do another picture, right? We bring in the photograph. What if we actually bring in the photograph, right? And I'm holding, well, it's right there. What if we actually rotate this, right? And then we try to maybe make a match, right? It almost looks like they're matching. Right, and we can do that, right? So I can do a line, I can project a line. Let's say that subject number 1, I'm gonna use their feet, right, as their position. So I'd be subject 1's position, subject 2 position, and subject 3 position. Again, I want you guys to explore in how do you represent this, but you know, I'll use the simple one right here. I'll do an ellipse, right? Do an ellipse right here, axis, first axis like that, and then I'll do that right there, and then I'll do a circle, and snap to the center, and then I'll do that. So that will be my persons on the top view, which looks kind of an eye, right? But again, that's the head. These are the shoulders right there, right? Well, diagrammatically, right, guys? So I can position this right here. And again, Julia is the one familiar with this. I mean, I'm not really sure if the subjects were like, for example, subject number 1 was like, I'm gonna snap from the center of the circle to that line right there, and I can then just position it, right? I mean, it looks like she was a little bit inside of the, like if this is the bear, let's say that she was there, because I think the bear is to the right of her, right? Yeah, sure. Alright, so I'll move this one right here. Oh, that's true. There's another photograph that we can actually look at. Julia's photos. This one right here. Alright, so there we have it, right? So there, if you look at them from the front view, they're, you know, about 2 feet apart, right? But then again, let's see into the distance, and this would be about, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 or 4 feet, right, between subject. So again, subject 1, 2, and 3. The other 1, 2, and 3. So I have those right there, and I'm gonna copy another. Oh, and then we're missing Julia as well, but we'll get Julia right now. Oh, which is the share, right? So I'll do another line. Which I'll use Julia right here. And so I'll do move, or actually copy, from there to there. And again, if I look at my photograph, okay, so this guy is kind of like there, and this one's kind of over here, right? And I can actually, I'm gonna select this, type hide, because I don't need that, and I turn off the photograph, and we start getting that right there, right? So this is now the diagram of how this was working. Okay. It would be nice to actually see, well, the opening. Again, I don't have the final image right here. What was that? What was that? Yeah, sure. If you can send me real quick the original. Okay. So that'll get us going with the top view, of course. You know, there might be some other components that we're missing. Now let's talk about, right, this. Oh, so I typed show, right, to bring out the original. Now we can use this image right here to work now on our elevation, right, and we can actually right, use this one right here. Right, bring that up there, right there. I'm going to make a copy, right, of all of this right here. Alright, so I select all of this right here. I'm going to rotate it. Now we're going to work on this same drawing, right? So this is the top view. I want to work at it on the, I guess, sectional drawing, or it's more of an elevation actually, because we're not really cutting through it. I guess we'll cut through the ground, but all right. So the first thing that we need to set, and you'll see it right there on the board, is that purple line. That would be, what does that purple line represent? Or what does this rectangle represents? Okay, so am I working on an elevation? Right. What does that represent? Huh? Thank you, Brian. ground. So everything's going to be sitting on some sort of ground. Okay. So here it's a little bit I don't know about easier, right? But this is nice, and again, perhaps you know from your orthographic drawings, I can actually start moving things, right, directly from my top view, and now I just ground them, right? So you move that to the ground, right? Move this to the ground, and here, so this is an elevation, right? So what axis do I see on the elevation? Correct. Which two? Well, well, two. But again, yeah. So Colin is right. So the main one we're concerned about here is the z-axis. So the meaning that actually here, right, I can start seeing heights, right? So let's say that maybe that object was a little bit taller, right, than this other one, maybe just a little bit, right? Because again, we're seeing them here in the floor and the top view, but now here we see them in an elevation view. Okay. We can bring down the camera. Right, so I'm gonna let me lock the photograph right here, and so I'll move right the camera right here. The camera, I think, was it right on the floor, Julio? Yeah. Yes. And here also the camera, right, from the elevation view, it might be a little bit turned, right? I mean, maybe on a little bit of an angle right there, right, rather than being straight, right? So I can maybe turn this a little bit. Right, and again I'll bring it up so that it's actually sitting on the ground. I'll start doing kind of that, and right now I'm just again using this as examples. I'll bring down the beetle, whatever that is right there. I'm holding shift just so that I can, and again let's keep it relative to their actual heights. So I'll use move right here. Move this guy. That. Let's say that this one is that little part right there. Maybe that one's taller like that. And we have the Nintendo, which maybe in our side view or elevation, it's tinier, right, or shorter. So kind of that right there. And bear, right? So bear now it's definitely taller, right? So we can actually use our gumball right here to maybe, you know, maybe bring this guy kind of like what he would be, right? I don't know if that's too much. That might be too much. Kind of that right there. Okay. Now subjects, right? So subjects here, I mean, I'm gonna turn them into a rectangle right now, but definitely, you know, explore with the, you know, creative way of doing this here. So I'll copy, right, that from there to there to there to there. I'm gonna get rid of top view icon. Oops. And I'm gonna move them so they're all on the ground. And definitely work with your layers. Like here, for example, I have all of the subjects now on the same layer, and that actually can get really confusing, right, when I'm actually trying to identify which one is which, right? But let's say go back to the photographs, perhaps this one right here. So okay, so short, taller, and I guess since she's down, she's sitting down, should be a little bit taller. Let's see. Ah, there we go. We have the original right here. Okay, so download folder. So this is the final one, right? So this is the one that. So there she is. There's Julio, and of course I'm not adding, you know, some of these components right here. The peep, which I don't know how you got some peeps right now. Those were only like around Easter, but you know, They're there, and we have Julia right there. So Julia is actually right next to the Nintendo. Actually, wait, but no, that's the forced perspective, right? So you're actually where the share was, right? Okay. So I'll just continue, right? So wait. Okay, so Julia, so it goes tall, short, taller, shorter. Right, so tall, let's say right there, right, kind of like that, right, so maybe taller. Maybe this one just a little bit taller like that. Okay, start doing kind of that. Okay, so I'll do a file save, and that would be find our location and projects, first perspective, 4. Okay, alright, so diagrams. Okay, so I'm gonna save this right there. Questions so far? Easy? Simple? But it's simple. It's just it's trying to recreate the scene itself. So let's give that a try. I'm gonna pause this right here. I'm gonna stop this.